How many rappers secretly play Pokemon? I kind of think it's a lot of them. Anyway, hello again to all survivors of birth. How are you doing? Good to be alive. Another day here. Today's another episode of Weird DMs, and today's theme is horrible first dates. Now, I know a lot of you forgot what a first date is because of coronavirus. You know, you've been holed up pretending you love your ex still because it's too expensive to move out anymore. At least that's everybody in LA. This is that thing you used to do when you would meet with someone and see if you were compatible, which you can probably start doing again pretty soon. But until then, why don't we watch these horrible first dates that these people have gone through? All right, this first one is called Interrupted. Let's peep this.
This story takes place when I was a junior or maybe a sophomore in high school. I am now a senior in college, so it's been about 5-6 years. And it's taken me this long to be able to tell this story without feeling like true and overwhelming nausea because it gives me so much anxiety. So I had been seeing this guy for a little bit. We weren't dating.
Before we go any further, I love how you say seeing this guy. You were 15. You saw him every day going to class because your schedules were fixed. This is the one guy you saw. I was seeing this guy on my way to 6th period for a while. That's where your whole relationship took place. That's where you guys held hands. Might have even shared a prepubescent smooch, but don't play this up like you were in some kind of serious relationship living in the city somewhere. You had Heelys.
We had been hooking up in like the church parking lot as high schoolers do.
Right there, Jesus, we got one. We got one right there. Send her straight down. Hit the lever.
You're up, soldier.
And then he takes me out on our first date, and it was my first date ever. He takes me to get crepes, and it was really nice.
Nice. Teenager takes you out to crepes, trying to get you all hyper, fill you up full of sugar, trying to lighten the mood. What a sick bastard this guy was.
We eat for an hour, 6 p.m., the date ends, it's great, and we go back to his place. I want to reiterate, we were in high school, so his place is his house where his parents and siblings live, and it was 6 p.m., so it was fully bright out, and like it was fully still the daytime.
See, that's an important detail because, see, we all assumed that you lived in Antarctica, so we assumed that it was nighttime at least 23 hours a day. So it's good to know that you were in a regular state. Thank you for the clarity on that part.
We go up to his room and we start like getting frisky, and he decides after I'm like basically fully naked, he takes off his belt and he puts it around my neck and like through the headboard, like his headboard had these like columns, and he like tightens the belt around my neck and through the columns. So I'm like fully up against the headboard and I'm completely immobilized. And the more that I try to talk, the more the belt like kind of tightens, so I can't really speak.
Regardless of what happens in the remainder of this story, report this kid to the police. He's not right. The only time you should be immobilized, unable to speak, and fully naked is after an edible. That's the only time those three things in combination are okay. This slush right here is not okay. I'm uncomfortable.
I can't speak and I'm fully naked. And I did consent to all this, so like I want to make that very clear.
What is in the cafeteria food that you guys are this horned up? What is going on? 15 years old, you got a belt around your neck? That's like advanced marriage stuff. Like some years later, you're like, I think I got trauma, but I'm going to work it out with leather. 15? The trauma hasn't even developed yet.
So we're having sex. I'm fully immobilized, whatever. I can't talk, kinky, haha. And the door opens and his twin sister walks in. So first of all, not the best scenario to be meeting your boyfriend's twin sister. Second of all, I can't move. I'm naked. Third of all, I can't speak because my throat is being compressed. So his twin sister walks in while we're literally having sex, and he goes like, oh my God, what the fuck? Get out, get out, get out. And she freaks out and she starts screaming, I just wanted to get a handle of Fireball out of your closet. Can I please get it?
Whole lot to unpack there. First of all, his sister saw a naked, immobilized woman tied up to her brother's bed, and that wasn't the issue. It's that it was interrupting her ability to get Fireball. That was the problem. This is not how I wanted to get the Fireball. It's not that good, all right? It's just nail polish remover and cinnamon.
And he was like, what? No, get out. And I'm like, because I can't.
Yeah, we didn't need that. We didn't need that visual. We did not need the teenage struggle noise you just made.
I want to throw up.
She didn't leave. She like closed the bedroom door so that she was in the room with us. We're naked. I think he had like grabbed the blanket and put it over us, but I still couldn't move. And he was so focused on her, he wasn't focusing on me. I was literally like choking. I was trying to get out.
What are you doing, stepsis?
So she's like running across the room. I'm immobilized, like trying to get out. He's like naked. It's his twin sister that I had never met.
Is this an episode of Shameless?
We dated for a long time, me and this guy, and my relationship with his twin sister literally never recovered. Like,
oh, that's weird. That's weird you guys never be able to get along. Because the first time she met, you didn't even say anything. You just sat there quiet. Kind of rude. So I understand why she'd be a little bit, just trying to talk to you. You didn't make a very good first impression.
And I literally remember saying to him afterward, why the f didn't you lock the door, you stupid f?
As you should. There was only one phrase that came to mind as you told this story, which was, why didn't you lock the door, you stupid f? That's how much that girl likes Fireball. She just smelt it in the air. Something dark. Come over.
Hey, step bro. Smells like Fireball in there.
But it was so embarrassing. Like,
I would agree. It's pretty embarrassing that you would crawl across a BDSM experience just for a handle of Fireball. That is desperate. All right, moving on. This one's called Tinder too, but I'm more interested to hear what this guy has to say because he looks like the only wildling that survived season 7 of Game of Thrones. So.
Hi, Noel. Thanks for allowing me to share my bad first date with you.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. Anytime.
Excuse the background. I'm home from college in my parents' house, and I have to hide in the basement so they don't hear the salacious details I'm about to unveil to you.
All right, man. I said wildlings from Game of Thrones, but now I'm kind of caught between like a medieval citizen in a kingdom where they only feed them salami and like a Ted Bundy tape. I know this is going to be something awful because he said salacious. I think I've only ever heard the word salacious used by a cop in a documentary. So I'm very curious to see how this turns out.
So I matched with this girl on Tinder. I'm away at college. I have a hotel room because of the weird pandemic housing situation that's going on. So I matched with this girl on Tinder and I invite her over to the hotel. I go to pick her up, and right off the bat, it's a little strange because I arrive at her house and she takes like 20 minutes to respond to me. After I tell her that I've arrived. I'm like, okay, not everyone has Tinder notifications on, I suppose. It happens. She's like, just give me 5 to 10 minutes. I'll finish getting ready. I'm like, oh, okay. So there's like multiple cars parked there. I assume they're her roommates or something. No, they're her parents. And her mom exits the house while I'm just sitting there like an idiot in the driveway for 20 plus minutes. And we have this really intense stare down, like she doesn't know who I am.
She pulled out a sword. She was like, halt ye, who goes there?
So then she comes out and she is not wearing makeup like she was in her Tinder profile, which I'm all for the natural look, don't get me wrong. But the difference here was, I wouldn't say drastic, but different enough to where it caused some concern for me.
Concern like what? What could that concern? She didn't have makeup on and you were concerned? Oh my God. She has no idea she's ugly.
What I'm trying to say is she wasn't that attractive without makeup on.
Oh, that is judgmental, man.
My pre-date horniness levels were already high enough to where that didn't really matter. It wasn't the most pressing thing on my mind.
See, something important to note there. All it takes for a man to see past your flaws is he just has to be wildly horny. You can always keep a man loving you as long as you keep feeding him horny goat weed.
So she gets in the car, not wearing makeup, so I don't know what she was doing while she was getting ready. But I do know that she was also not only not putting on makeup, but also not showering, because I noticed an immediate smell.
She got in the car and you were like, I know this one. Gamer Musk.
It's a little concerning, not overpowering, but like I said, concerning. I was like, oh, so what have you been up to recently, trying to probe? And she immediately answers, oh, I just got back from the gym and I was cooking for my mom. So she smells like she was sweating in a kitchen, to put it mildly. So I drive back to the hotel. We don't have great conversation on the ride there. She's Asian. and her English I thought was good at first, but I get the feeling she doesn't quite understand all that I'm saying, because she's speaking really well. But the way she responds to me and what I have to say is very strange. Like, I'll say something and then she'll just reply with something completely off topic, like I didn't even say anything.
Oh, man. Yikes. This dude has no idea he's living in a simulation. He should have known when her mom exited the house. That was an NPC right there. She just...
Stop!
She didn't know he was in the car because she's not coded to acknowledge other people in the server. She just goes about her business.
So we get back to the hotel. I'm with this weird girl. You know, maybe it's just a language barrier, but I'm thinking in the moment she's kind of weird. Who doesn't smell great, doesn't look great. I'm like, hey, you know what? We've all been there. I'm horny. Let's get this over with. So I try to make some sexual advances. You know, get the hookup going along, because we both know what we're there for. It's a hotel room, okay? And she's not really getting it. Like I said, the language barrier. That's
Yeah, man. Not a lot of things that made me cringe, but I'm cringing at you trying to flirt and her ass just not responding. Speaking some horny like a sim. He just on the bed.
I like corn.
So after 3 hours of the worst conversation I've ever had with anyone, she turns to me and says, oh, well, I guess we should have sex, right? I was like, well, I guess. I mean, I was trying to be smooth about it.
Look, bro, I don't know about you, but I don't know how you weren't freaked out. That would freak me out after 3 hours of kind of awkward discussion. Someone turns to me and goes, I guess we should have sex now.
We proceed to kind of start slow. I go in for a kiss, and she, I guess, has not really kissed that many people before, because she goes in, just tongue already out, as she enters my mouth, moving the tongue around as spastically as possible.
Ah, see, he didn't know. She was one of these reptilian people the whole time. She wasn't trying to make out with you, bro. It's like this old movie, Mars Attacks. They dress up one of the aliens as this beautiful woman. This guy goes to make out with her, and she burns his tongue off because the alien's mouth is full of acid. She wasn't trying to kiss you, man. She's trying to collect DNA samples, and they're going to clone you. They're going to kill you in your sleep and replace you with one of their NPC alien clones. You were on the verge of getting abducted. That's what you don't know.
I like to do a little bit of foreplay. Despite the circumstances, I wanted to ease into things. So I start to do that, and I won't go into more detail than I have to.
Thanks.
But she looks at me weird when I start doing it. She's like, are you going to stick it in? I was like, oh my... No, I feel like a slut now, okay? I'm trying to...
You should have been bugging out, man. We should have sex now. She just scanned the inside of your dental records. And then she goes, aren't you going to stick it in? Abduction, man.
So I proceed to have the worst sex of my life, and then take her back and then never talk to her again.
Look, if this video ever makes it to Facebook, the next time you guys go raid Area 51, you need to get him out of there. He has no idea that he never went home after that Tinder date, and he's not in his parents' basement. Moving on to the next one, all we know is this woman's name is Skyla.
Hi, my name is Skyla.
See? Told you. Her name's Skyla.
Middle of January, I met this guy on Tinder. We talked for about 3 days. He asked us to get drinks. We go in our neighborhood. We go to this Asian fusion place. They're serving us soju.
Damn, this, like, if there was ever a crime witness, this is who you want. I was a law student watching this, just getting all kinds of feelings. You see this detail? This is like ideal witness right here. 13 seconds, we got it all. She met a guy, Tinder. They went to an Asian fusion place. Keep going.
At the time, I didn't know what soju was, so I was just like, yeah, whatever. You know, bring me a shot, bring me a drink. I have the shot, have the drink. 20 minutes pass.
Hey, you're not on the stand. You're not on trial. There's no lawyer here. Telling the story like she's being interrogated.
I get up, use a little girl's room, come back. There's another shot on the table with him, and I'm like, can't say no to a free shot.
You can actually. You can. Just for any person out there who sees alcohol, and because you can't say no, you can say no. You don't have to do it.
We leave, get to the corner, had to be about 30 feet, not even. It hits me. Whew. I'm gone. I'm completely out to lunch. Don't even know where I went. I was smoking too, so I was a little crossed. And I'm just like, yep, I'm gonna be sick. And before I could even think about it, throwing up on the sidewalk.
Listen, with the most respect, does this not feel like Maddie Smokes as a woman in another universe? They have the same kind of lightly vaporized voice box. You know what I mean? And they kind of got that flat demeanor in their face. Took a shot. Can't say no to a shot. I had to take another one. Get not even 30 feet. I'm about to get f***ed up, dude. It's just the same, whatever.
Eventually, I feel a little better. He calls a car for us. Another mistake that I made was I got in a car with him, and about halfway through, The Weeknd featuring Daft Punk, I Feel Like Coming, I just start throwing up.
That was the most funny, weird way to say I'm about to throw up. That's how much TikTok has brainwashed you guys. You got to use song music titles to convey your point. She couldn't even just say, I was about to throw up. She had to reference a song. She's like, I'm riding in the car, and then Daft Punk featuring The Weeknd, I Feel It Coming. I vomit.
Start throwing up outside of the window. It's like all over my mask and my fucking, all over the car. I don't even acknowledge him. My street comes up. I say nothing to him. I get out of the car and I run to my building, and I am a sobbing, blubbering mess on the floor, and my mom had to undress me, and all my friends laughed at me, and the guy wound up cutting me off about a month later. So
first of all, I appreciate that. Minute and 37 seconds. That's lightning fast storytelling. I really appreciate this. Hands up for Skylar. We got it all. If you want to know how to tell a story, that's how you do it. We know where she ate, what she had, what fucked her up, when she threw up, how she threw up, everything. That must have looked so crazy from the other side of that. Not that, I'm not like shaming Skylar or anything. It just must have looked wild for her to just be in the car and then just roll the window down and be like, just like an active silly string can out the side of the car. It just rips the door open and runs inside, and then he just hears faint crying from the window, and he's just sitting in the Uber like, did I do something wrong? He probably cut you off because he couldn't handle the sheer embarrassment that you got more sauce than he did. He went home that night and he texts his boys. He's like, fuck, man, I don't think I can't hang. She like bodied the whole bottle and she got high and just puking everywhere. It was like, it's savage. Like, holy that girl's so lit, and like I could never, like, I'm so, like, if we went and partied somewhere, like I could never get as lit as her, and like no cap, bro, like I can't get as lit as her. I can't. And then he stopped texting you. All right, I think that's gonna do it. That was all very entertaining. I think the thing we all learned today is, ladies, if he's wearing a leather belt to the date's over. Time to go home.
Hey, shit's play, man, I had to switch it up. Yeah, might lose a few, ask me if I give a fuck.